Welcome back to the Prosperity Playbook podcast. I am back here again with my special guest, Ashley Umbaugh. If you missed our last episode, definitely go back and check that one out. We talked about all the things nobody tells you about pregnancy and having a baby. And we still have our extra special guest, Ira, cute little baby here with us. So if you're not on YouTube, you can check that out and get your baby fix while we're at it. But today we're going to talk about another topic that's near and dear to Ashley, and that's addiction and recovery. And that's actually how I met Ashley, was through a nonprofit organization called Greater Impact. And that organization helps women and families, people who are struggling with addiction, and it teaches them life skills and gets them back on their feet. And I'll let you tell me more about it and what you want everybody to know about it. So welcome back.
Thank you. I'm the Recovery Family Director for Greater Impact, so I get to oversee the sober living homes that we have here in town in Bozeman. Right now we have 2 men's homes and 1 women's home with capacity of 7 people in each house, and we've got goals for the biggest thing that I want to see next is family housing. People seek recovery when they're single, right?
Yep.
But what about the families?
Well, I think that's exactly why we want to do this episode, because I think sometimes addiction doesn't really look like what it looks like in the movies, and it's not the person that you necessarily think it is. It can be anybody, right?
Anyone, and it affects absolutely everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. Yeah, we've had not even just in our homes. I know people. I've got people in my family. I've walked through recovery myself, and it hits anyone with the gene.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that you've got this whole family history of addiction for it to hit you either. I think, honestly, I think in this day and age, we all are dopamine addicts. Like, it can be, I think it's easier than ever to be addicted to, pick your poison, whatever it is. So, this episode is not about judgment or preaching. We're just going to talk some truths and hopefully encourage open conversations. I think that's, taking the shame out of it and asking for help, I think, are the most important things about it. But
absolutely.
What's important for you for us to address in this episode?
Something that comes to mind is I had a gal ask me some questions about, the drunkest 100 days what's it called? The deadliest 100 days in the Valley. And it's right around Memorial Day. And it's that 100-day stretch where
Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Yep. The most fatal DUI-related accidents happen in the state in that 100 days. And we were talking about, because if someone's killed in an accident, that person's taken. I'm like, it is so much farther reaching than that. Even if we're not talking about fatal accidents, it's not just that person gone, but it affects everyone involved and then ripple effects from there.
Absolutely. And I think it's more, I think everybody thinks about like the alcoholic or, the heroin addict or whatever, or the meth head, but it's so much bigger than that now. And I think, prescription drugs is such a huge epidemic. And not only that, but I think that and some of these other drugs, they're just not, it doesn't matter your zip code. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. This is not like, just a homeless population problem. Like, this is very affluent people have problems with addiction and it destroys a lot of families. And so my goal would be just to give people some awareness around it. And then that there's no shame in asking for help, because it is genuinely a mental struggle.
It's a spiritual struggle.
Yeah. It doesn't mean you're moral. It's that your morals are wrong.
No. And that's, what? I figured that out finally when I was going through my own thing. And when I was growing up, my dad was a meth addict. And I could never figure out, like, why are we not good enough for you to quit?
Mm.
Why don't you love us enough? Right? Like,
Yeah.
that was the thought when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But until I grew up, and I never touched drugs because they scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Because I saw my dad walk through that, and I saw what it did to our family, and continued to. So I never touched them, but I was doing the exact same thing with drinking.
Mm.
Exact same stuff, right? I was behaving the same way. I was super selfish. I'd bail on my best friends to go drink more,
Mm.
you know? And by the grace of God, I didn't have a family yet. But when I walked through getting sober initially, I finally realized, I was like, it had nothing to do with me not being good enough.
Yeah.
My dad wanted to quit
Every day?
every single day. But he didn't have the tools, and it was a cycle of shame. That's what it is. It's a cycle of shame. And the person feels so bad about themselves, whether they say it or not, right?
Yeah.
It's like we present a very good front with the false ego, and pointing fingers at everybody else, right? Playing that victim game, because it's hard. It's hard to look at ourselves and the things that we've put others through.
And
by our
therefore,
choices.
you numb it with the alcohol or the
Yes.
drugs, and thus the cycle.
Because it's familiar.
Interesting.
Because it's familiar. And we know that it's hurting us, right?
Yeah.
But we don't care that it hurts us. That's the thing. I don't care that I'm hurting myself. I can't face the fact that I'm hurting other people that I love, but I don't know how to make it better. And they're mad at me. So there's another cycle. Nothing I do is good enough, so I might as well just
keep using, not try to fix it.
Yep.
Got it.
And that cycle, that mentality, whether that's true or not, that mentality keeps so many people stuck for a long time. For a long time.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think that reaches more than just talking about drugs and alcohol. I mean, I think that could be food. That could be your health. Yeah, absolutely. It could be debt. It could be your job, making money. I mean, it could be so many different things in your life of that. Well, I'm never going to be good enough, or I'm not going to be as good as this person, so I might as well not try.
Yep, that comparison is a killer.
So was there a defining moment for you when you realized that it was time to get help?
When my mom was standing in my doorway, and she lives 3 hours away.
Oh.
I woke up to her standing in my door. And I knew that I had screwed up the night before, and my significant other at the time had called her.
Oh.
And we were actually supposed to be going on a family vacation.
Oh.
Flying to Washington, D.C. And instead of going to D.C., I went to Billings, and I went to Room Rock for 38 days.
Wow.
Yeah. My mom, later on, she'd tell me, she's like, I don't deserve to be there. I never asked to be there. But I put her on a pedestal. That woman has walked through more in her life with more dignity and grace. Wow. And I never wanted to disappoint her. So seeing her did it for me.
Well, that's amazing that she showed up for you.
Yeah.
What did she say to you that made you do it?
This is actually a funny story. So I'm laying in bed, still drunk, I'm pretty sure. And I remember it this way. I remember her sitting next to me and saying, "Are you ready for some help?" And me saying yes, not knowing what that was. She says that she sat down next to me, and I said, "Mom, I need help."
Interesting.
And I'm like, "You're probably right," because I was probably still drunk. But either way, like, she didn't miss a beat not a single beat. She took me to work, and she made calls to some family friends who had gone through similar struggles. Said, what do I do? Who do I call? Where do we go? She called down to Rimrock, and they were like, if you can get her here today, we have a bed open. Mm. So she came and picked me up during my lunch hour, and I was supposed to go on family vacation, so I was already packed for something.
Yeah, funny how that works.
Right? She's like, you can't take these things. You'll need these things. So I went and flip-flopped a few things in my suitcase, and off we went and detoxed for 2 days and did the deal. It saved my life.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I got to imagine that was extremely difficult.
It was weird. It wasn't difficult. Because once I got there and I was learning enough, that's the thing. I didn't know.
Sure.
I didn't know much of anything. I just knew I wasn't doing drugs, so I thought I was fine. But I started learning things in there, and I started realizing that what I was doing was I was drinking myself to death and not caring. That was like my active goal.
Wow.
And it being like a point of pride for me. And once I started learning enough, I started realizing I wanted to live. And so the hardest part of the whole thing was realizing that and going, now what do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know how to live life without that.
So what made that realization, and like what happened when you got out? So walk me through that. So did your job wait for you for 38 days?
They did.
Wow, that's pretty magical.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Like even when I drank, this isn't the story for everyone, but this was my story. I still showed up to work. I
very functional.
At that point, yep. So they did. They waited for me. I still had a job.
Amazing.
Got out. Came back home. My boyfriend and I were living together. We agreed we wouldn't have booze in the home. He cleared everything out. Not that I ever had anything left, but
funny, not funny.
Right? He's like, what do you want when you get home? I was like, I want Monsters and Snickers ice cream bars. And so that's what filled our fridge and freezer.
I like it. Okay.
And I went back to work, and I did not exactly do what I would recommend to people, actually.
Okay. Tell me about that.
When I first got out of treatment, I came back home and I lived off of his decisions for my life.
Ooh.
I didn't go to meetings. I didn't reach out to my support group, really, other than my parents are awesome. My dad was still struggling at that point. But I had my boyfriend at the time who was super supportive, wasn't going to drink with me. Had my mom, and I got by for 3.5 years.
Wow.
And accomplished a lot. Married the guy, bought a house, finally graduated college. That took me forever.
Wow.
Did the deal, but I was not okay in my head. Because you alluded to it before, right? It's like numbing.
Yeah.
That's what the booze was doing for me, and that's what it does for everyone. We are hiding from something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And we are hiding from something, whether it's our own thoughts and feelings or lack thereof, and trying to fill that God-sized hole, right?
That God-sized hole. I like that.
Yeah. And once I took the booze away, I didn't fill it with anything else good.
Monsters and Snickers ice cream.
Yeah. Not healthy. But it looked put together for a while. And that can happen. But then it started to deteriorate again.
So what did you really need, and what is your advice for people that are coming out of recovery?
what I found out is that I can't live off of what everybody else thinks is right for me. Only God can tell me what that is.
I love that. That's a good lesson for everybody.
Yeah. And the key there is, and what I struggled with for a lot of years is like, is this God's will for my life or is this my will? And I heard something one time that really resonated with me. You've heard of foxhole prayers, right?
Yep.
And I was doing a lot of that. And I was praying a lot, and I was praying a lot, and I was like, all right, God, what do you want me to do? I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what I'm feeling, blah, all the things. But I was never taking the time to listen.
Ooh.
And what someone told me once was, well, yeah, you don't know what God's will is for your life because you don't know the sound of his voice. How would you know the sound of his voice if you don't listen?
Wow. That's profound.
Right? That hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh my gosh. I talk at God all day, every day. But I don't take the time to open up and listen.
So what does that look like for you? What does listening look like? Time alone?
Yes. When I pray, I don't I have conversations with God all throughout the day, even still. But I pause after. And I ask for clarity and I pay attention. I say, open my eyes, my ears, and my heart to what it is you have to tell me. And I pay attention to that. And what I've found, like for me, if I think I have an answer and it's in my head and it's spinning and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, that is not from God. That's been my experience.
Oh, interesting.
If it's like in my head, that is me, or not me. But if it comes from my gut and there is a peace surrounding it, that's it.
Listen for the peace. I love that. Well, let's talk about let's take a step back from the recovery piece. And what's your advice for the listener out there that might be thinking, man, maybe I'm in this spot. Maybe I do need some help. What's the first step? How does somebody go about looking for the help? Because not everybody has the mom that you did that's standing in the doorway.
I know that 100%. Yep. I'm very blessed in that way.
Or maybe they have the mom and the mom doesn't know what to say.
Yeah. First step, tell anyone. Tell anyone. And then, honestly, it depends on what you feel like your thing is. What's got you stuck, you know? But there are people all over this valley who have struggled with everything that you could possibly imagine who are there to help. And from shopping to isolation to their phones to the nasty stuff you can find on your phones to relationships. You know, people are totally addicted to relationships.
Yeah.
You know,
yep.
I need to feel needed. Been there.
Yeah.
Whether it's alcohol or drugs or work.
Yeah.
I mean, anything. Just tell someone and say, will you help me find help? Right.
So let's flip the script on that. What if you are someone that person is asking for help? How do you help that person? Or maybe even so they're not asking for help, because I've always heard if it's always easier to see in other people, I think, than it is to see in yourself.
Absolutely.
Just like you were talking about your dad versus you. It's easier to see their problem than it is yours. But I've always heard that you can't make someone quit if they're not ready.
Sure can't.
So how do you nudge that conversation? Or is there something that you can say, or do you just genuinely have to wait until that person comes to you saying they're ready?
Boundaries. 100%. If it is someone that you see who is struggling, and it is starting to affect not just them, but family and those around them, and you as a person who loves them. Setting boundaries and holding them. That is the biggest thing, holding them, because we need that. And that will, the natural consequences of our actions are what helps us get there the fastest. It's the goal of the justice system, when it comes to things like that, but it's not implemented very well.
Agreed.
But I mean, that is the heart behind it, we'll say,
So you're saying not to try to fix the things for them, but to let it get real broken, and that might be what they need in order to see it.
100%, which really sucks.
Yeah,
really sucks. That is counterintuitive to most.
Yep.
We want to love them. We think that love looks like fixing it. Love looks like making it easier. Love looks like I'll give you money because you don't have rent money, even though I know what you blew it on. Looks like, yeah, of course you can borrow my car because you wrecked yours. Yeah, of course you can stay here, even though I know you're drunk, passed out on the couch every night. But whatever the case is, saying yes over and over is enabling the behavior ultimately in the name of love. True love holds boundaries.
Boundaries aren't abandonment.
Absolutely not.
But it's survival for them and for you, maybe.
Absolutely. Because you know what, think of it this way, right? Like, if someone truly loved you, would they allow you and assist you to just keep killing yourself slowly?
I mean, in theory, no. That's sometimes, though, we don't recognize that that's what's happening, is that they're killing themselves slowly.
Exactly. That's so true.
Yeah.
It's like, but if we have good boundaries that are, and boundaries, this is something I've actually learned recently in the past few years, is like, boundaries are not there for them. They're there for you.
Yeah.
Right? They are, they're putting out a fence line and saying, here, if this happens, this is what I will do. It's not punishment on the other person. It's not punitive. It's not, if you cross this line, I'm going to stick you this way. It's if you cross this boundary, when it comes to our relationship, this is the action I will have to take. And they're preset and they are verbalized. So it's like, no one's a mind reader, right? So they need to know what that is, right? For example, say, I love you so much. I care about you. I can't watch you do this to yourself. I want to hang out with you. But if you come over to my house drunk, you won't be welcome here again until you get sober.
Got it.
Right? Like, things like that. Like, it's, what am I going to do if you cross my boundary?
Yeah. So I think that's such good advice on both sides of things. And also for the person that is recovering, they need some boundaries as well. And also, like you said, like, it's not about living for somebody else or doing what somebody else is telling you to do. I think it's about dealing with the demons that you have, finding out what really is important to you. And like you said, you realized you wanted to live. So what does that look like? I feel like that's the important thing for people. What do you want your life to look like? And I think it's good to dream big. When I came in and was doing classes at Greater Impact, that was one of the things that I encourage people to dream about, like with finances, because finances can be a problem in addiction. But I want you to dream big about what that could look like. Like, if you had a magic wand, like, what could your life look like? Because I think you have to have those goals and those fun things to look forward to instead of just numbing the bad things. Yeah. I think it's about looking towards the future. I read a thing once that said, if you're looking at your past, you're looking the wrong direction.
You're going to stay there.
Yeah, exactly. What you focus on expands. So Let's talk about what actually getting help looks like. So you talked about, was yours inpatient for 38 days?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And then there's also outpatient programs,
Yeah.
and then of course AA, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about different options, and how do you know what's the right thing?
Sure. So it is different for everyone.
Yeah.
There is inpatient, and if, like I said, that saved my life, just because of the way that I drank.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend that to a lot of people, who that fits for. There's also, like you were saying, outpatient treatment, which is like a number of hours during the week with a group of folks who are doing and going through the same thing with licensed counselors.
Okay.
There's peer support, which is phenomenal. It is another human being who has walked the exact, well, I say the exact same.
Never exact.
Nobody's ever the exact same, but has walked through those struggles as well and can be there to help you find what's going to work for you. It's not that person coming in going, do this, 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 and this, right?
Yeah.
It is, here's what worked for me. Here are the options. What do you think is going to work for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's give that a shot. And they will walk you through that and implement those things, right?
Yeah. So community obviously is a big, important part of that.
It is
not doing it by
the
yourself. Okay.
It is the thing. Getting connected, getting in community. I have never once met someone who was in recovery in isolation. And if they were a miserable human,
So that might mean structure, obviously being really honest around what's going on. I mean, you can't probably move through what has happened in the past without just some honesty and just moving through it.
100%. And there's something to be said about that. There's a big difference between acknowledging the past and moving through it to learn from it, and that morbid reflection, right? That keeps you stuck in it.
Yeah.
It's acknowledging it, looking at it. What do I do differently moving forward? Let's go.
I love that. And purpose. I think that's the other thing that keeps you moving forward. Like, what am I here for? What am I put on this planet? Who can I serve? I think that's a big part of it. Like, no matter how deep of a hole you're in, there's probably always something you can give back to somebody else. I always encourage people to do some form of volunteering, even if you don't have an extra dime to give anybody.
Yeah.
If you got time to volunteer at the food bank or something, do it, because it always makes you feel a little bit better about the fact that you can contribute something.
Yes. And it's so funny how, like, service, getting outside of myself, serves me.
100%. Every time. Every time. Yeah.
I always walk away feeling so much better.
Well, before we wrap this up, I want to talk about relapse, because I think that that's a very common path for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Did you ever relapse?
I didn't.
You didn't. Good for you. So, but I know working in the line of work that you do, you've probably seen that lots of times.
A lot.
What do you think? So I obviously the advice is, if you relapse once, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. Like, keep trying. Right. Obviously, I'm sure you've seen success stories of people that have relapsed many times before they got it right. Yes.
My dad has been in 13 treatment centers.
Oh my goodness.
And he just is at 13 years of recovery now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it can be done.
I love that.
It can be done.
Any other advice for people that maybe have already tried once and it didn't work out, and they've relapsed and they are thinking about trying again?
Hop back on the horse.
Just give it another go.
Yeah.
Find people.
You know what it's like if you keep going down the road you're going.
Yeah. Yeah.
More pain, right?
Yeah.
And until you don't have the option.
Right.
Anymore, right? I've always said, I'm like, if you're still breathing, there's hope. If you're still breathing, there's hope. So reach back out. Try something different. If you're like, I tried it didn't work for me. I know plenty of people that did that. That's okay. There are other options.
Yeah, like you said, I'm sure every single journey is different.
Yep.
You all got there for a different reason. Everybody's got different resources, different things that have happened
Yep.
in the past, just everything is different. People are different.
100%. And that's what I say too to the like residents that come through our homes. Is like if someone wants to leave, they're like, I just can't do this. I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like we're not the end all be all here.
Yeah.
Like it's just another tool.
Yeah.
So like if this isn't working for you, we don't want you to stay. You know, we want to find you a place where you can go where you're going to be set up for success.
Yeah.
But if that's not here, that's all right.
I love that. Well, there's no perfect journey. I gotta imagine like that.
No.
Life is messy. People are messy.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah. So,
It's gross.
well, what's the first step for somebody that is looking for help? Is there, a local resource that you recommend? Is there like some?
Yeah, actually. Shameless plug.
Okay.
There is, we just opened the Recovery Point. It's our recovery resource center. And they are doing amazing things. And it's like they have open hours during the day, and you can walk in there and talk to a peer support specialist, tell them what you got going on, and they will connect you with, number one, get you connected with peer support right then and there. And number two, get you to your next step, right? What does that look like for you? Do you want to explore sober living? Sweet, let's fill out the application right here. Do you want to find a church home? Let's find what one you might connect with. Do you want to get a counselor? Let's find that. Do you feel like you need inpatient treatment? Because if you go home tonight, you're going to do X, Y, Z. Let's figure that out for you, But that is like we were talking about before, connecting with another human being is the key. So that is like the number one thing that I tell people is go talk to that person and they can connect you from there.
Well, and I think sometimes it might be hard because the people around you, if you're in that spot, might also be other people in the same spot.
Yes.
So sometimes we have to look outside of
Branch
that
out.
circle because the people that are in there with you, they want to keep you in there with them because it makes them okay if you're doing it too.
A lot of the time. Yep. There a lot of times.
Oh, coffee.
Our baby friend was being so good, we kind of forgot.
I know. All you been.
That can go, one of two ways. They can either like want you to stay in it with them because it gives them the justification.
Validation.
And then it can also be like, man, I want you to get out.
Yeah.
But they feel like there's no hope for them.
All right. Well, Recovery Point, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a website
They're doing
or an
fantastic
Instagram
things.
page or
Yeah, they're on the Greater Impact website, which is greaterimpact.us. And Recovery Point is on there. Right now, currently, they are at 2000 North 7th.
Okay.
Same parking lot as the MMA gym.
Oh, okay.
In Bozeman. And but they are moving soon, but all of that will be posted.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I think this was super powerful. Thank you for sharing your story and your insights. And if this has been helpful for you guys as listeners, please do share this with somebody that you think this will resonate with. Please follow, please like, and please do connect back with Ashley. If you need a resource, she's obviously an amazing one and can help connect you with the right spaces for your journey. So we send love out to anybody that's fighting this fight themselves or has a family member that is struggling with us. I think the stigma around this needs to get removed and the secretive around it and just bring things to the light, take the shame out of it, and know that we probably all have something.
Oh, yeah. We all have our stuff. But everyone is worth a life worth living.
I love that.
And
I think that's the key, hope. I mean, you got to have hope. If you think that there's no hope for you, chances are you're wrong. I think God has a bigger plan for that. And
Absolutely.
I think, if you're not a faith-based person, that can be a part of your recovery. It doesn't have to be, but I know it is for an awful lot of people. And that might be that God-sized hole that you, as you mentioned, I love that. I love that imagery. But again, thank you so much for listening and stay tuned for our next episode. But here's to empowering each other one story at a time.